So today, Thana and I want to show you how you can make use of groundworks that are a little bit raised off the ground, and you can see the ones that we're walking around here right now. They're about, I want to say, maybe 6 inches or so off the ground, and the spacing, they're positioned in like a fan, as we always like to do when we're on a circular shape, and you can see the measurements in the arena pattern graphics at the end of the video. But basically just to say that, you know, you want to use the poles where they're closer together towards the center of the circle for your walk and for your more collected trot steps. And the farther you get towards the middle when you're crossing them and towards the outside, the spacing of course gets bigger, and those are then useful, those spaces, for the larger trot steps. And you want to be careful in the beginning when you use these bigger steps, because your horse may, you know, take them as an invitation to jump, which is not unheard of, especially with horses like Thana, who has an itch and who used to be a jumper in her former life. So we're always wanting to be mindful of the backgrounds of our horses. And so I'm going to just take her over these in the walk. Thana has a tendency sometimes to get a little bit worried about anything that looks like could possibly turn into a jump, and then in her mind the speed button kind of gets activated. And so we're trying to take it slow and easy with her. She's already used to the ground poles just on the ground, and so here we are going over them, just easy going, nothing big. I have a light contact with the reins. It's nothing, you know, too short. I try and encourage a really nice medium walk. And as you can see, so far she's not opposed to anything, but I can always tell with her that when she gets a little bit worried, she has a tendency to grind her teeth. And, you know, sometimes we work through that and say, hey, this is not so bad. I'm going to change directions here just so that she can see the poles and feel them underneath her from both sides. You know, always feel mindful of sort of the mental state of your horse, and when, you know, there is a time to work through it and when there's a time to give the horses a break, you'll get a feel for that, you know, the better you get to know each other. And so we're going to go here one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and easy does it, you know, and I'm putting myself on a, you know, loosely, I want to say it's probably more like a 15-meter circle here so that we don't waste so much time. But it's important, especially in the beginning, not to overwhelm your horse and give the horse the time and the space to just walk normally and leisurely almost for the rest of the circle. So we're going to go over one more time here. So it doesn't seem to be a problem, and we're sort of close to the narrow spaces that are pointing towards the center of the circle. We'll do it one more time. Good girl. This is all. Yeah, very good. And I can start to feel her breathing a little bit more regularly. That's another thing that you can pay attention to when you're riding your horses and you're doing something new. Some horses have a tendency to actually hold their breath for 1 or more strides or longer. And, you know, those are all things to pay attention to. You just want to deal with it in a kind way, but not overly indulgent. So, and then I'm going to put her into a little bit of a posting trot here. And we're just going to go over these poles in the slowest possible posting trot. There you go. Very nice. Good girl. And I keep my hands pretty wide and low with the reins so that she can just lean on them, as I'm just trying to stay very regular and relaxed with our posting trot here. I'm just going to go over 1, 2, 3. Very good girl. You know, with no hurry, nothing artificially too slow. It's just a really nice working trot. And we'll do this one more time in this direction. Then we'll change the direction through the center of the circle. And just do it here. Come. Yep. So, good girl. So then I'm going to change through the center. Good girl. You know, and so far so good. Nothing too nervous seems to pop up. And I just stay and stick to my little regular rhythm here. I may, count in my head to keep the rhythm even. Or I may hum a song when I'm by myself and when I'm not talking on a video like this. Anything you can do to become your horse's metronome, I always say, so that they take note that you're not worried. As far as you're concerned, you're riding in this beautiful posting trot across these poles. And we'll just do it one more time. So, very good. Good girl. Very, very nice. So, and then it depends on how familiar and how comfortable you and your horse are with each other with the poles. And I'm going to change directions again through the center here. You can then add some elements, with a horse that's a little bit easily distracted or rushing. You can add a sitting trot circle, maybe, one before you go over the poles, maybe approximately 10-meter circle here. If the horse is rushing too much, you can go into more of a volte, make the circle a little smaller. So, good girl. But it helps for the horse to maintain the focus, and for the rider too. You're going to have to manage the increasing energy that you may have with some horses that are a little bit more on the forward and hot side. So I just continue with my circle pattern here. I'll do it one more time. And I can already feel how nice her back is swinging. How she's becoming more flexible, both laterally through her body and longitudinally. I have a really nice forward downward stretch into my reins here. So, good girl. So, and then we're going to go change again. This time I'm going to stay in the sitting trot for a little bit longer and go straight here from the turn into my next 10-meter circle. So she always has something to think about, something to focus on, something to wrap her mind and her body around. So when she gets fast, I use a little bit more knee pressure and half halter a little bit with knee pressure increasing power, so to speak, while my lower legs still stimulate the forward and tell her about the rhythm that I want. Very little rein pressure that we're applying here. Just going boom, boom, boom over these. Very good girl. So we'll just do it one more time. One more little circle here. And you can tell how she's really starting to stretch forward, downward. And I'm thinking, she's almost getting a little bit heavy in my hand here. And so that might be a sign. Yeah, you can see how she's starting to lower her head. This is maybe enough for her. We'll just do one more little bit of posting across the poles. So, good girl. And I don't want to spoil a good thing by saying I want this too many times. So I'm just going to let her ease out into a long rein, beautiful walk. And then we're quite happy with that for this segment. And, that's another example for you guys to just use what you have. Have fun with it. Always think rhythm, relaxation, suppleness. The contact comes as you apply yourself and your horse across these different little ground poles and tasks that you're asking him or her to do. And, another beautiful way to mix up the routine to get, the horse more rolling, more engagement in the hind end, shoulders become free, the back starts swinging, the contact immediately almost becomes better because there's so much more engagement from behind. And so what's not to like, right? So thank you for watching. Have fun with this and happy riding. Good girl.